Flight Risk, a movie that you would have never thought was directed by Mel Gibson.
Ain't that the truth?
This is a weird movie to be a movie directed by Mel Gibson. Like it's a simple movie. It's a movie about.
It's a 3-person movie.
That's not why it's simple. It's just it's a simple concept. You go from a guy who's directed a movie that was spoken all in
Aramaic.
in Aramaic, or all in an Aztec language or Mayan language, to a movie with Mark Wahlberg with no hair.
Well,
He's
first
speaking
off, Mark
And-
Wahlberg, you speaking like he's a country bumpkin with the Boston accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, this not a bad movie, but like this could have been directed by anyone.
I mean,
Yeah.
You could just put your cell phone recording on the dash and just done it like that.
No,
I mean,
it's not what I mean. It's I'm not disrespecting Mel Gibson. I'm just saying that this is not a movie I would have thought Mel Gibson would have directed.
Yeah. I mean, I watched that interview he did with Rogan, and he was talking about how he wanted to make just a fun movie.
I feel like this was like, and I was talking to Ozzy about this after I saw it. Like, I feel like
This
think
is
he
a
owed
favor.
somebody. Like he owed somebody a favor. And let me make this movie. But this is not a bad movie. It's like I'm gonna make this movie, and this movie sucks. No, it's everyone who was in this movie was really good. And Mark Wahlberg was good in this movie. What's her name? Michelle Dockery was good. Topher Grace was good in this movie.
I didn't like Topher Grace.
He was Topher Grace. He was Topher Grace.
Yeah,
he was Eric
Brock.
Foreman. He was Eric
Brock.
Foreman. He was Eric Foreman. He was Eric Foreman as Eddie Brock. He was the same character. He's
same character.
Well, he was also the guy from Predators. Same thing.
Same character.
I didn't like the wisecracks. It didn't make sense. It didn't fit the movie.
But it was. But
He could have been Deadpool.
But it was still a decent movie. It wasn't. I did not find myself not having a good time with this movie. But when you're advertising this movie, that the director of Apocalypto, the director of,
but they don't say his name.
Passion of the Christ, the director. Like again, it just this felt like
we will not mention.
We do not speak his name.
I felt like he made this movie, but like, I'll make this movie before I make Passion of the Christ 2, Passion Christ Harder or something. You know, like I'll make that one. I'll make the sequel,
the
Resurrection, right? Before I make the Easter egg movie.
Resurrection of Jesus.
Right?
And it's a musical.
Blues Brothers 2000. Before I remake Blues Brothers 2000.
Passion of Christ 2, The Calling of the Blood.
Yeah, there you go. Done. But
actually fits.
Huh?
But it's
it actually fits.
but it doesn't make sense because like I get it. It feels like he didn't make a bad movie. He made, like you said, he made a fun movie. It is not a horrible movie. I sat down and I watched the movie and I had a good time. Mark Wahlberg was a good villain. Again, harkening back to
really? It's already? Yeah. Big face.
Going back to like his villain in like Fear, like he plays a good villain. He has a mean mug face, right? He has a good villain face. Yeah. Having the bald head really made no point in this movie, but
it was
made him look funny.
It was a dick move. It was a dick move to do that because he only had partial bald head, and I was like, come on,
No, he also
give him their no hair.
He had a bald spot though.
Yeah, but he plays a good villain. He played a good villain.
It's not weird. I mean, people lose hair like that all the time. I don't know what I'm talking about.
He played a good villain. I mean, Daryl Booth, right? He played this Daryl Booth guy. He's a good villain in this movie, right? Up until the very end, the way he gets his comeuppance. The Madeline Harris, the whole. But it's not anything that I hadn't seen before. I felt like I've already seen the way this plays out in other movies, but it's still fun. It was still fun. I still had a good time.
I think the ending just kind of like I didn't care. I mean, I would have been fine for me if it wasn't for the ending. I just didn't really care too much for Oh,
was like
she
a-
figured it out. Dun,
It
dun,
was
dun.
like a Die Hard ending when, like the
Because at
first
least
Die
you,
Hard when it comes.
But it made me laugh. It made me laugh when again they get out of this jam just to get into another jam at the end, and Topher Grace's line that he still has to crack wise at the end again one more time before the
Yeah.
movie ends, right?
Yeah.
And that line made me laugh because there was still that levity at the end of the movie. Mel Gibson directed an enjoyable thriller. Like it's a thriller. I can't really say action, but it's an enjoyable thriller. That's again played by only 3 people in the movie, and the rest of them as voices. You get Leah Remini. That I can tell that was Leah Remini's voice, 100%. You can never mistake Leah Remini's voice.
I thought it was Princess Leia.
That's Stacy Carosi for life, son, for life.
Stacey Carosi.
Right?
It's weird. You look like the dad in that episode.
She looks like the dad now.
Pumbaa. And then the what was the guy's the commissioner, not the commissioner, the guy the I was gonna say Commandant Lassard,
Mahoney.
the guy above them, the other guy, which I know his face, I just don't know his name. You see him in a lot of movies, but I just didn't recognize his voice. I had to look him up, and then I looked up. And then when I had to look up also the guy who helps her, the pilot who helps her. What's his name? Hassan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hassan. Also another guy, just his voice, very charismatic, just in the voice. Just the voice, very charismatic. Everyone, all 6 people that are in this movie, that are the characters in the movie, they were very well used in this movie. I had a good time with this movie.
If you go to IMDb, Hassan is a different person from the voice. The voice that or the intercom was different than the guy who actually.
It wasn't the actor doing the voice.
Apparently not.
Well.
But another twist ending.
Either way, this movie was still I enjoyed it. I liked, even though it wasn't anything new that I hadn't seen. This movie didn't bring anything new, and it was also very weird to know that Mel Gibson directed, like, came off of other types of movies that came to direct this movie, and just a dumb fun movie.
Has he directed movies since? I mean, what the last one he did was The Beaver.
He didn't direct The Beaver. That was Jodie Foster.
You sure?
Jodie Foster directed The Beaver.
I know she was in it, but you know what? I know Jodie Foster's in The Beaver.
Oh, that you're gonna research, not everything else.
Oh no, I just researched the flight risk thing. I said, hey, look, the voice is not the same as the person.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
This
right,
movie
right.
was too predictable.
Yeah,
I think for me, like, I went in with an expectation, and I set the bar too high. So when I watched it, I was pretty disappointed, actually.
Well, I mean, because look, there's only 4 movies he's directed, right? He directed Braveheart, Passion of the Christ, Apocalypto, Hacksaw Ridge, and now this movie. And 3 out of these 4, like those other 4, Braveheart, amazing, right? Braveheart is an amazing movie. Passion of the Christ, like that movie, you would all in was Aramaic. You said what language?
Yeah, Aramaic,
right? And then Apocalypto in also in another completely different language. And Hacksaw Ridge is a beautiful movie, right? That's a great movie.
Mhm.
And then you get this predictable, just dumb, fun movie. It's like this just doesn't fit the Mel, like the type of movie Mel Gibson would have directed. Like I would have thought that would have been a little bit different, like something. It wasn't. This really wasn't what I would have expected. Just like you said. But it was just it wasn't a horrible movie by any means. It just wasn't what I expected.
I just knew what was going to happen from the beginning, and so I was never invested in the movie. So none of the characters hit the right note. Topher really got on my nerves, and I think what's
even
her
when he
name?
was dying.
Yeah, even then. But what's her name?
Mm,
Brooke. What's her name?
Something.
The actress,
Yeah.
Michelle Dockery from
Yeah.
The Gentleman. She's
The
from The
Gentleman,
Gentleman.
yeah. So, but she was good. I
Oh,
mean,
that's
for,
what I see her.
with what she was given, Mark Wahlberg was good. I think he steals the scenes when he's in it. But
Because he's asleep for a lot of it.
yeah, but other than that, I mean, I was never invested. The story, I think, whoever wrote it, I mean, Mel Gibson did what he could with what he was given. Everybody. Everybody.
Which is why I said I feel like this movie was, I'm doing a favor for somebody. That's what this
Yeah.
felt like. Like this is
No,
I'm doing a favor.
I think it felt it. Well, you're right. It kind of felt like it was like the studio said, okay, we got AI to write this, but we get a great director to do it. Maybe you can't tell, and it's like, you know, it's not
It was
that
written
great.
by Robert Downey Jr. All right, I'll do it.
My friend will do it. Okay. But I get the Passion of the Christ sequel. Fine.
Fine.
Take it. Take
I mean,
it.
it's the same. What is it? The same company that released Passion is on this.
Lionsgate. Well, they also
No, not
released Sound of
Lionsgate.
Freedom. Well,
was
this
the
is
other one.
distributed by Lionsgate.
Oh,
But I wonder who's gonna do the Passion of Christ 2 one. Is it gonna be Angel Studio?
who knows?
No, it's probably
mean,
the
it
same
would
company
fit.
that released the first one, because don't they have the rights for Passion of the Christ?
No, I think it's public domain, isn't it?
The public
pub-
domain. What is it like?
Public domain.
Public don't know. That's not how
Movies-
that works.
The movie is 150 years old.
No, yeah, that's how public domain. It's not the
No,
Happy Birthday song.
No, but the original text, you know, it could it's just it's older than that. So I mean,
That's true. You're right.
you can make it up as all you want to. I think he should do the Book of Mormon. As part 2 is the Book of Mormon. So yeah, he's in the Americas.
That's Trey and Matt.
They own the rights.
Yeah, they own the rights.
Yeah,
Matt and
but
Orgasmo.
Hey, Orgasmo's
double
the
bill it.
greatest movie ever.
Remakes.
Ever.
But
You know,
no,
it felt
yeah,
like- you know who Mark Wahlberg felt like in this movie? He felt like he went back to you know, the guy he played in Fear.
Hey,
Also
that
like-
harkens back to
harken back to what I said at the beginning of this episode. Oh, look, you listened to what I said at the beginning of the episode.
I wasn't paying attention. Do some research.
Hey, harken. Harken.
I'll double back to it. There you go.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, if you guys have seen a Flight Risk, what did you guys think? This was the story kind of typical because something you've already seen, or did you guys like it? Did you guys find like, oh, was it trading new ground, or was it something like, oh, cool, it's something new for Mel Gibson to direct? Let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And on that note, this has been Vinny.
To be here.
And
We'll see you guys next time.